People ask why I go so hard at resident good boys, Wedge and Brian, better known as the Professor and the Manosaurus. If you can tell, I'm kind of biting my tongue a little bit here, holding a bit of internal rage, because you can call me an asshole and you'd be right. But one thing I've never been falsely accused of is being too loyal. Loyalty is paramount to me. Loyalty to family, loyalty to friends, loyalty to your word. These are tenets I live by. You may not have much in life, but you've got your word. One of the most frustrating things that I see consistently in behavior from people like Wedge and people like Brian, Anthony and Brian, is completely unaware, unapologetic hypocrisy. That is why I don't like Anthony. That is why I don't like Brian. This is what makes them poor role models. Anthony can make all the bad decisions in his life, and people can continue to foolishly help him, enable him by giving him money, but eventually that will stop. But when they choose to attack my friend Rudy, a man who has never spoken out against anybody, a man who has never involved himself in drama, I get fucking pissed. I'm going to share with you some grade A elitism hypocrisy, and you will know why everything that comes out of these jokers' mouths is a lie. You will know why, with a white-hot passion, I strongly, in the strongest words possible, condemn these men as any kind of role model. Now, I'm no role model either. I don't do things right, but I'm honest. Now, Grand Prix Vegas, now the attendance we know, down nearly 25%. Rudy still went to support his friend at the Vintage Magic booth. He did not get his ticket paid for by Channel Fireball, unlike Anthony from the Manosaurus and Brian from Tellurian Community College. He did not get his hotel paid for by Channel Fireball, unlike these gentlemen. Yet, they had a lot to say about him. On the 29th, internet douchebag Corbin Hostler talked some shit about Rudy possibly charging $5 for signed Polaroids. Not uncommon. Artists there charge for signatures. It's fine. He has every right to do so. What's $5? What does Rudy give a shit about $5? You know what the $5 is? It's, I have to do something because otherwise I'd be signing autographs all day long. Does Brian from Tellurian Community College and Anthony from the Manosaurus and resident douche nozzle Corbin Hosler have a problem with Stan Lee charging for autographs? I don't see them speaking out against that. Why do you think they have something to say about Rudy? And they're allowed to have their opinion, and I'm allowed to have mine. And I'm about to show you a classic example of how these cowards are completely unaware of the example they set. We have Brian replying to Corbin, who I believe deleted the initial tweet. I have never and would never do this, even at Vegas, where there are more than a few moments where I felt overwhelmed and swarmed by people. I still consider it my job to ensure those fans who want to meet me and get pictures or stuff signed were able to do so, and for free. This is not the same situation as artists, who should not be expected to work for free. Artists can and should require charges per signature. Why is Rudy, a arguably bigger celebrity than any of the artists at a Grand Prix, not allowed to charge for his fucking signature, Brian? It's good to know you're so above charging for a signature. I'm sure you would never, ever do this. You would never charge for your fucking signature, would you, Brian? You would never do something like that because you only care about the fans. Right? Right, Brian? I can't imagine this is true at all. I know pretty much every non-pro figure. You don't know shit, Anthony. And none of them would ever do something like this, ever. There are some artists that charge for signatures over 4 cars. This is usually a crowd control issue. But why is it not a crowd control issue for Rudy? When all you pussies piled on him. You pussies who were paid to be there. Channel Fireball paid for your plane ticket. They paid for your hotel. They didn't pay for Rudy to be there. What the fuck is wrong with him charging $5 for a Polaroid? What? He had a professional photographer there taking it too, didn't he? What's wrong with it, Wedge? You would never, Wedge, you would never charge for a signature, would you, Wedge? You would never charge for your fucking signature because you love the fans just so much. You would never charge for one. Now, would you, Anthony? Would you? You would never demand handouts from the community to pay for your own stupid decisions for not carrying health insurance like a normal, hardworking American. Like somebody who makes $100,000 a year and chooses to not carry health insurance, and the first thing they do is stick their fucking hand out and demand the community pay for their own fucking mistakes. You would never do that, Wedge, would you? You would never demand $150,000 from your fellow Magic players to pay for your own dumbass decisions. You would never charge them for that, would you? These men are garbage tier humans, sticking their finger in the faces of other Magic players, judging them, all the while operating completely critique-free. You are not allowed to critique these gentlemen without being called a hater or perhaps banned from Magic. They can talk all the shit they want about a man who has never, ever said anything judgmental about them, and nobody seems to care. Brian, you owe Rudy a public apology. Anthony, I know between tweeting nonstop and laying around doing nothing with your life, you can tweet out an apology, because this shit is disingenuous garbage and you should both be held accountable.